everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Monday, March 22nd. We don't have any open meetings for you today, so we'll just jump on to who's on our show today. We're going to start off with Andre Torn, and he is going to give us a United update. And then later in the program, we will have Jeff to sit down and talk about some of the things going on here in Laguna Woods Village. Let's go ahead and go to our vaccination information that we regularly give you. LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com is where you can find all the latest updates on Laguna Woods Village and also some information regarding the vaccines. And then, of course, if you would like to be vaccinated here in the village and you are 65 and over, and you haven't been able to do that elsewhere, then please send us an email to info@LagunaWoodsVillage.com, and we will do our best to give you the information and help you find where you can get vaccinated. All right, and then if you would like to be vaccinated from the distribution pods, Rite Aid, or CVS, we've got Athena.com for the pods, RiteAid.com/COVID-19, CVS.com, or 1-800-SHOP-CVS. Now, our weather this week is looking quite nice. We are going to be in the 60s pretty much all week. We're looking at 67, 44, 69, 51 sunshine. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 72, 54, 66, 53, and Friday, 62, 50. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:51, and our sunset will be at 7:04. And Dennis, thank you so much for sending in this cool photo. You know, the sunsets were quite amazing there for a few months, and you certainly captured a good one, so thanks for sending that in. If you have a photo that you would like to share with us, please email it to LagunaWoodsVillageTV@gmail.com. Stay tuned for Andre Torn. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Kiana Lee. With us today is Dr. Christine Chung of 7-Day Dental. She has great news for seniors. Doctor, why don't you tell us the exciting news? Mom.
We know there are many seniors living with tooth pain. 7-Day Dental is starting a new program called Seniors First. Seniors who are 65 years or older will get initial free exams and x-rays.
That is so nice, Doctor. Call your nearest 7-Day Dental to get your 7-Day Dental smile.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Andre Torn, who is here on behalf of United. And today we are going to talk about landscape goals. Well, Andre, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for letting me in and share my progress with all the residents. It's my pleasure.
Great. Well, landscaping is a big job here in the village, and I know there's a lot of things to go over. So, interestingly, you have some staffing information.
Yes, currently VMS has about 145 and a half people in landscape altogether. They are all fully staffed, so we don't have any problem. But occasionally we may have some sick leaves and injuries and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So we are looking to see if we can, they're looking to have about maybe 4 floating people to help out to make sure we have our fully staffed. Okay.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But like you said, 145 people, that's a lot, but that's because there's just so much landscaping. But thank goodness, we don't live in a concrete world here.
Yeah, it's we have about 8 sections. The whole village is divided into 8 sections. So that's it's a big job. Okay, so
yeah,
everybody, and it's quite visible. We hope that residents will enjoy the coming year, which it's going to be spring right now, and hopefully we will have everything blooming and everything's going to be beautiful in this.
Yeah, I know. And then we got some rain, which was good to help along those plants. So in regards to communicating how things are going, what did you want to tell us about that?
Yes, communication side, we've had since last year, we had this landscape activity schedule posted on the website. And I'm sharing that with many people, asking them, making sure that everybody understand that it's not we're ignoring you. We have a schedule, and everybody can watch the schedule and know that it's coming. It's coming. It's not just big area, and everybody needs to be scheduled. Okay, but of course, if the landscape is not in good shape, then we need to talk about how do we increase the schedule and expand the schedule a little bit. And we also look to establish a dedicated landscape menu option. So currently the information is spread around a few places. So hopefully it will be a dedicated space. And we want to share landscape manual policy and procedure with residents. There's sometimes misunderstandings. Sometimes people say, hey, why do I have this one? But actually we don't provide that kind of thing here.
Yeah.
So we will standardize our policy and procedures. And there is a very important thing. We have frequently asked questions. We know people ask questions. So rather than repeating the answer for every question, we will have a frequently asked questions there.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's always
understand. Yeah, people can really share that kind of information. All right.
Right.
So that's basically the communication side. There will be more stuff coming out about communication, but at this point, we'll focus on those areas.
That's good. I mean, the FAQs are really important, like you said. In fact, some people may read that and go, oh, I never thought of that question. And then they all of a sudden have the answer to it. So that's perfect. Now, what about you have some KPIs?
Yeah, KPI stands for Key Performance Index. And I have a statistics background and some operations research background. And also, used to be called statistics, then we called it measurement, and then now it's called a KPI, and finally it takes off. And KPI is a measurement of the performance of each department, each activities, and make sure that we board members stay on the oversight level, looking at things need to be improved rather than looking at the management and say you need to do this, you need to do that. What we're looking at is we use KPI to indicate there is a potential problem there, and that will help out everybody to the department to focus on certain issues, reduce them. It's basically something that predicting something might happen and help us avoid that problems. And then we've starting working on the workload. The KPI basically look at the beginning, how many requests we received, how many requests we've closed, and what's the cumulative number of requests and that kind of thing. That indicates something that how can we improve those activities. That's basically the key performance index side.
Yeah, now of course in 2020, it was a weird year, so I don't even think you can compare last year to this year at all.
Yeah. We had some complaint on the globe side, and people were just confused what exactly we need to provide. So we are now focusing on the major issues. We also have some quality improvements initiatives on that.
Well, good. Well, that was a great segue into the quality. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you are planning for.
Yes, what we begin to realize is during the past years, before Kurt Weeman started the management, leading the landscape department, the management was focusing on the quantity rather than quality. So they were complaining about, we don't have enough staff, but I'm looking at the schedule and say, well, you complete all the schedules right on time. Why is that? Okay, either that you didn't finish the job and then move on, or you have sufficient staff to finish all the schedules. So I was really confused then. Finally, it was revealed to us that the previous management paid too much attention on the quantity side. They just say, okay, we finished this cul-de-sac, we finished that cul-de-sac, we finished all these cul-de-sacs, but they didn't finish the whole job. And that's why residents got confused and say, I live in the back of a cul-de-sac, but my cul-de-sac wasn't, this area wasn't trimmed. Why is that? And the front side is all trimmed, the back side is not trimmed. And or people say, well, the work is not done completely. Okay, people run the mower too fast. So we got all these requests, and we begin to realize, oh, there must be some quality issue. So people VMS start looking into quality issue and start realize that we need to focus more on the quality rather than the quantity. That's what we are currently focusing on. Along with quality, we may start seeing some kind of real, hopefully the staffing level will support us. I have trust with Kurt Weeman that he'll make it happen for us, and we are constantly monitoring the staffing level and the workload level, making sure that we are not drop the ball there. That's the quality side that we want to pay attention to. So this year you will see differences, and a lot of complaints should be disappearing, and hopefully we'll have a better service this year.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. Anytime you can curb a complaint is always a good thing. That's for sure.
Right. Well, we pay a lot of attention to the communication side. And when resident complain, I will go out and I encourage anybody who has a problem with about the landscape, give me a call, let me know, and so I can stop by and explain to them whether it's reasonable or it's a little bit beyond our capability. Okay, we need to work together. The more complaint I hear from people, the better I will make changes and make sure that we will receive better services.
Okay. Now, of course, all of the things that you've mentioned requires money, and I know we're in a budgetary situation right now. So let's go over what you have.
Yes. One thing we have is according to 2020's budget. Okay, we are spending each manor is paying $76.16 for the landscape activity. Mm-hmm. So for 8 units, that's about $600 for the surrounding landscape, the whole place. Mm-hmm. So that's some money we need to distribute it wisely and make sure it covers everything that that we promised and want to accomplish for the community. My image is that this place looks like paradise, and everybody's happy with that. Of course, you can never reach 100%, but hopefully with 90-95%, everybody will be happy. That will be sufficient. So if anybody's interested, feel free to join our landscape committee meeting, United Landscape Committee meeting. We will talk about the reserve fund expenses versus the budget, how much money we spend for the budget. And we will also review the operating fund expenses versus budget. And currently we are reviewing the budgeting process and understand how much money we have, how do these budget come about, and what are the promises based on for those budgets. So we can share, we can hold VMS responsible for that and making sure that we will achieve the goal that we set out for the budget. That's basically what we are trying to accomplish at this point.
Well, and that's good. And you know what? Everyone's going to be out and about now. We've got our COVID stuff somewhat behind us. We're looking forward to getting outside. So either A, you're going to get more complaints, or B, you're going to get a lot of compliments.
Hopefully we'll get more compliments, and I have confidence that this year we will definitely get more compliments, okay? Because I'm going out, walking around, talking to residents if they have any problems, and share information with them. I help them improve their surroundings, and that I hope will reduce a lot of complaints.
I don't know. I think they're going to have to get you a new hat and a landscape badge.
Yes.
Watch out for Andre, the landscape police.
Yes. Landscape monitor, making sure everybody's happy with that. And if there's anything that's extraordinary, we can look at a policy and say, do we supply that or do we not? And hopefully everybody's will be glad with that. And we want to make sure that this place is a beautiful place.
All right. Well, Andre, thank you so much. Happy spring to you.
Thank you very much. And everybody have a happy spring coming over. And hopefully with COVID situation getting a little bit less restricted, we'll have more and more activities to enjoy life here.
Exactly. All right, Andre, thanks again.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
You too. And we'll be right back after this.
Are your hearing aids not working as well as you'd like? The person who programs your hearing aids is way more important than how much you spent on them. The good news is that we can help. I'm a retired electronics engineer who will precisely reprogram your hearing aids to your unique hearing loss. If that doesn't give you significantly better hearing, I won't charge you a dime. You have nothing to lose and better hearing to gain. So call Hearing Remedy right now and ask for your personal better hearing appointment.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Susie Vanderlip, who's here to talk about monarch butterflies. Well, Susie, thank you for joining our program. How are you today?
Excellent. Thank you. And thanks for having me.
Such an interesting subject matter. I mean, we see butterflies a lot, but I feel like it is dwindling a bit, and you've got something to say about that. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I was not raised as I didn't go to college for entomology or get into butterflies other than through the love of them. I fell in love with them in April of 2010. I had this unexpected ruptured appendix, which slowed me down. And whenever I'm healing from anything on a daily basis, I'm in my garden. And when I was there, I saw monarch caterpillars on a milkweed plant. I didn't know what I was seeing at the time. I simply thought how beautiful they were and how ravenous and energetic they were. Photographed them, videotaped them, and became totally enamored. So I spent time learning everything I could, researching on the internet, and also getting in touch with all of these. There are several really major monarch butterfly organizations with websites that are quite reputable. I became a monarch butterfly citizen scientist, got trained to tag and test them. And a lot of that came from the experiences I had in the garden, because raising monarch butterflies is a variable experience. Every year is different. And you run into situations where you might have parasites, or you might have predators, or you might have a perfect season. It's very interesting because it's so variable. And I wanted to help. So then I was asked to become the monarch butterfly conservation specialist for this wonderful organization, Monarch Watch, monarchwatch.org. And if you want to look them up, been around 50 years. And then there was a new organization started a year ago called Western Monarch Advocates, and I was asked to be one of their representatives to help Western people in the West, ourselves, right here in Southern California, help save monarch butterflies, because a lot has happened to their population over the last 20, even the last 5, even the last year, that we're very concerned about.
So do you think that what exactly is the issue going on with them? Would it be pesticide? Is it just we're not having as many gardens? What would be the problem?
Good question. And we kind of say it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's a lot of things. Just to give our viewers an impression of what's happened, 20 years ago, there were 2 to 4 million monarch butterflies that would fly up to Pismo Beach and Santa Barbara and Santa Cruz in the winter and sleep. They hibernate through the winter, at least they used to. So think 2 to 4 million 20 years ago. Then 5 years ago, there were only 150,000. Now that's a drop of 98%. 2 years ago, there were 30,000. This year, we had less than 2,000. Now that crash is very, very concerning. But also what changed is the monarchs, rather than migrate and sleep through the winter, we've gotten warmer. Well, so one of the elements is global warming. Because we've gotten warmer, a lot of them did not go and migrate. They stayed. And in all of Southern California, we have a certain number of monarchs that are breeding through the winter, which they never used to do before. And they never could before the last 10 years, because native milkweed, that's the host plant. It's the only plant monarch caterpillars or larvae eat. It's the only plant, so they have to have it. There was only native milkweed, and it died down to the ground by early November. So if you have nothing for your babies to eat, you go and you sleep. Well, then we introduced something called tropical milkweed from South America and Central America, and it doesn't die down. And it leaves out all winter long. So monarchs have something to lay their eggs on, something for their caterpillars to eat, and they have stayed and bred. And you might think, well, hey, what's the problem with that? The problem is that there's a parasite. I mean, monarch butterflies are the most complex insect on the planet. just in their life cycle, but also all of the elements that affect them. Tropical milkweed, well, there is a parasite called OE. It's microscopic, doesn't hurt people, but it's on the leaves, and if the caterpillar eats it, and then when it's born as a monarch, it's got it on its belly, and it flies around and it spreads it to other milkweeds, so other caterpillars eat it. Well, it was always around. It wasn't a problem. Native milkweed would die down or go away every year.
Mm-hmm.
The tropical doesn't die down.
Mm-hmm.
So it accumulates, and by the second or third year, it begins to kill caterpillars and kill chrysalises and kill monarchs. And so there's an extremely important message to anybody raising monarchs or planting for monarch butterflies in the garden. If you buy tropical milkweed, which is the only milkweed you will find at the big retail stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, Armstrong's, you have to be religious. You have to be responsible and prune that plant by mid-October, which means cut it back to 8 to 10 inches, strip off all the leaves so you kill OE, so you won't kill monarchs the next year. Yeah, so we can either buy native milkweed, that our organization is saying only plant native, but now we have monarchs. So global warming, our monarchs are, even if they do migrate, they're waking up earlier by at least 3 to 4 weeks before native milkweed is out of the ground. So if we have a whole population of monarchs wake up, breed, ready to lay eggs, and there's no milkweed, guess what? The entire population dies. So there's this big controversy. Do we need tropical now because our global warming? So that's one of the issues. Another issue is we have plowed down the native milkweed and the native nectar plants in order for agriculture. And landscapers thought, well, those aren't the plants we want. We want to, use the plants you buy, and our landscaping didn't include it. And now it has to. We need to give monarchs all the help they can get. Right. So it's a habitat loss. And yes, you mentioned it, pesticides. Sadly, we have really overused pesticides. Now, agriculture uses a lot. Unfortunately, it floats. So it does affect the milkweed that's found just out and about in open spaces. When they test it, they usually have 9-10 different pesticides or more in them. We don't know what's a level of toxicity. We don't know what's going to kill those caterpillars. In our own gardens, I have learned to garden completely with no pesticide, no fungicide, no herbicide. That is great for our planet. It's great for our children. It's great for our health, and it's great for monarchs.
So let me ask you regarding, I know there's many preserves around here in Orange County that I'm assuming they've made the adjustments necessary for the monarchs. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what you mean by preserves.
Well, let's talk about Upper Newport Bay, for instance. There is that back country there that has an awful lot of different kinds of plants, and they do have a nature center. So wouldn't they have things for monarch butterflies?
Well, those are they probably do have some native milkweed and native plants, but it's a very small amount of country. What we really need, and what I love about, Laguna Village, I live in an HOA, you've got an HOA. HOAs all around Orange County could come together and say, we're going to add to our landscape, not take away the beauty that we already have. We're going to add to it. And we're going to carve out areas that we would call a monarch way station. We're going to plant some native nectar plants and some native milkweed. All right, if you want to plant tropical, just make sure that your landscapers know to prune it mid-October.
Right.
And attract monarch butterflies. You imagine, you have so many HOAs. We have so much. And the other thing that we can do, all around in our community, all of the medians and all the sidewalk areas, we really could transform a lot of it into natural habitat. We can help the bees, which we need for pollination.
Right.
And monarch butterflies, they pollinate as much as bees do, but they pollinate we want flowers in our garden. We need those butterflies.
Right. There's
a lot we can do.
What kind of nectar plants do you suggest?
The nectar plants, there are a lot of native nectar plants. And I have I have a blog where you can look up nectar plants, and it'll tell you all the different nectar plants. It is called www.tinyurl.com/allaboutmonarchs.
Oh, good.
Okay, now native nectar plants for butterflies, all kinds of butterflies and bees would include lantana. They love lantana, and we love that as a landscaping plant, so that's a nice combination. They love echinacea or coneflower. They love yarrow. They love coreopsis, plants that have, you know, these little flowers they can stick their little feeding tube into.
Right.
And there are plenty more.
That's great. I mean, that's a lot of information about monarchs, and I'm so sad to hear that they're dwindling down in terms of numbers. But hopefully, we, like you said, can get together and start making some more areas for them to populate. So that is great information. I appreciate you taking the time, Susie. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. That was great information. And stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. Well, that should give it away. The music you hear is the movie from Jaws, and that is our movie for today. It can be seen at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 7 p.m. without subtitles, and that is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. So enjoy that fun flick for the day. Also, wanted to let you know that the Old Pros is having something fun called Conversations with Old Pros. And that is going to be 7 p.m. every Sunday right here on Village Television for the month of March. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather one last time for you. We are looking at some nice weather, partly cloudy skies for the next couple of days. As we head into the weekend, it will be sunny, and we are looking at some pretty good temperatures. We're looking at 67-44 today, 69-51, and then sunshine for the next 3 days after that, 72-54, 66-53, and then Friday, 62-50. Now, we're sorry that Jeff wasn't able to make it here today, but we hope to see him Wednesday or Friday. So stay tuned. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. And otherwise, you can rewatch our program at 12:30 and 5. Have a great day.
Hello, Laguna Woods. I would like to invite you to watch our new television show called Inspiration for Today. It's on every weekday morning right here on Channel 6 at 7:30 a.m. Saddleback Church of Laguna Woods hopes to start your day with encouraging stories, inspirational music, and lots of laughs, too. Remember, Saddleback Church meets weekly in Clubhouse 5 at 9 and 11. We would love to serve you a free breakfast and have you join with us for worship.
Did you know there's a link between diabetes and cardiovascular disease? If you have diabetes, you're more likely to have risk factors associated with cardiovascular disease, including obesity and high blood pressure. Take steps today to reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease, manage your A1C, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels, develop or maintain healthy lifestyle habits, and learn ways to manage stress. Take medicines as prescribed by your doctor. Stop smoking or using other tobacco products. Take diabetes to heart. Visit niddk.nih.gov to learn more.